Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm talking to Elias Theodorou, who is facing Sam Alvey at UFC Ottawa. Thanks for taking the time today. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So listen, we're about basically a week out. So was this the last hard training that you're doing? Are you just kind of now healing up your body before we get there?
I've been really lucky. This one, it's been healed the whole way through. I've been kind of playing around. I got a couple of southpaws that are giving me different looks, and again, you want to save yourself for the actual moment. It's the accumulation of all the hard work on this 15 minutes or less. I'm hoping for less. And basically, no, I'm just ready.
So you've been doing most of your camp. Well, it feels like you were getting some looks other places, but you're finishing up with Faraz.
Yeah. No. I've for the better part, I've called this home for now the last 3 months.
Yeah.
With, like you said, some traveling here and there, in between. But I think that was going forward the big difference from the last camp to this one. I had a great 4 weeks in New York with Longo, Weidman, Sarah, but I needed more than that. And that's what this was in regards to being here in TriStar. In many ways, I've known this fight was going to happen since January. So I've kind of had the spaghetti rule, throw everything on the wall and see what sticks. And now I'm ready to eat.
Well, everybody knows that Faraz Zahabi is really kind of a genius when it comes to the fight game. But the one thing that people say about his fighters sometimes is that because they have so much information that sometimes they can be a little bit hesitant. So I've never really seen a hesitant style from you. But do you, what did you take away from him? Do you feel that you learned more about how to sort of watch the game while you're playing it?
Oh, 110%. And with that being said, again, even with all the coaches, no matter whom it is, obviously when you have someone as great as Faraz that's coaching you, there's a wealth of knowledge. But you got to take everything in some ways with a grain of salt and put it into your game. So I think, again, in many ways it wasn't broken, but there was a lot of fixing that needed to be done. And I can tell you, based on training, I'm much the same Elias.
Nice. Did you convince George St-Pierre to come back at all?
Yeah. I think there's a different thing that will convince him, and that it's a dollar sign.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who would you want him to fight if you had him come back? Who would you want to see him fight?
Oh, Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
That would be the coolest one. Again, it's just two of the greats. Even though, like Anderson again is always going to be Anderson in his own way.
Yeah.
And then George, he has had this huge time off. There's a little bit of they're not necessarily in their prime in many ways, but it's still a legacy fight, and it's a money fight, so they would all go home happy.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing. And you bring up Anderson. If I'm not mistaken, I think on your UFC page on your bio, it's under favorite striking or something. You say anything Anderson can do. Is he somebody that you? I don't want to say it's a reason you got into the game, but is he somebody that you always followed and thought, I want to fight like him?
Yeah, for sure. It's just the aura. Again, when it was under his reign of as pound for pound the greatest, it was just a case where everything he did, he had this aura around him. And I've actually had the chance to train with him in Brazil, right when he was like getting ready for Chael Sonnen. I think it was the first time.
Okay, yeah.
And it was more just, again, oh my God, he was just in the room, and it's just like, oh my God, it's Anderson Silva, right?
For sure. I remember the first time I interviewed him, I was like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, he's amazing. He's amazing. Sam Alvey said that his wife had picked you as a great opponent, and I know that he called you out actually a while ago. I know you said you've known the fight was actually matched up since January, but he called you out. He's been having some fun with you on social media, playing around with the hair and this and that. But what do you make of the matchup? Was he somebody that was on your radar if he hadn't mentioned you first?
Well, yeah, no, actually, it was a fight that could have potentially happened in the regionals. He used to be the champion of MFC, and before I got to the UFC, they were asking around, but it was at that point kind of they were kind of already, the UFC was already explaining to us that they were going to do the Ultimate Fighter Canada, and they kind of wanted me to do it, so, well, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So again, he's been on my radar for a long time. He's a tough dude. He's got a wealth of experience, and he's got dynamite for hands.
Yeah.
He definitely has the experience on me, but I think there's a diminishing returns in how much mileage he actually has on his body. He has a bum left knee. He recently got his first knockout, and he broke his jaw. When I signed this fight, he had a broken jaw. He just had his wires.
Right.
He's been very successful because he's been able to have the tougher chin. He goes balls to the wall with a lot of opponents, and his just outlasted. But that didn't happen in the last fight.
Right.
And I think in many regards, again, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
But I think there's a diminishing returns. And I've listened to all the podcasts. I listened to your podcast with him. I've listened to everything about him. I'm a real creep. I know
let's go.
I know which leg's bad with him. I have a whole everything But there's a real honest assessment of himself when someone asked how's the body, and he nervously laughed because again he's a broken toy in many regards.
Yeah.
I think with me, I'm lucky in many ways that I started this, even though I'm playing catch up because I only started martial arts in any capacity at the age of 21. So my body's totally fine. And I think that in my last fight, I showed that not only to everyone else, but also to myself, that there's no quit in me. My opponent threw everything but the kitchen sink, and now he's a top 15 opponent, and at no point did I quit.
Right.
Where Alvey got knocked out by his top 10, top 15 opponent. Again, I think Alvey has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, but he's folded 6-7 times now, and I'm going to make it 8.
Well, yeah, for those who don't know, it was Derek Brunson who knocked him out, and you had a fight with Thiago Marreta, and you I mean, even in defeat, that was one of those fights where I believe if somebody wasn't already a fan of yours, after seeing you power through with that cut, with everything that you had to deal with in that fight, I certainly think that you gained some fans. How hard was that though to deal with? I mean, did you look up at the big screen and be like, oh no? I mean, how you know what I mean? How much did it hurt?
Yeah.
How aware were you of that?
There were so many silver linings in this fight. Obviously, originally, your first loss, your first taste of defeat, you get half your paycheck. Just the financial aspect of that. Again, I think at a certain point in the last round, I might have been trying because I thought I had two rounds in the bag, and arguably I won first round hands down. He won third, and it kind of whatever the judge thought in the second.
Yeah.
The silver lining with that is the idea that he's a top 15 and just a couple of minor adjustments, I could have won that fight.
Yeah.
I think I lost the fight. He didn't win it.
I see.
And it was my first bad day at work.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it was. I should have zigged when I should have zagged.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he was a 3-time Muay Thai champion and I outstruck him in the first. And then I don't know if it was a little bit of disbelief on that aspect, but part of the game plan was to confuse him standing up and then try and take him down, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I was stubborn and I was like, but this always works. When I put people that say there, take them down. And that kind of mentally exhausted me because it's always been easy.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't cognitive enough in the actual fight to just say, hey, let's just go back to what I was doing in the first, until it was a little bit too late in the third round, and that's when he got to tee off of me a little bit.
Right.
But again, when my French, when shit hit the fan, at no point did I quit.
No.
And again, the silver lining is the fact that I went 3 rounds with the guy that's on a tear right now, who has 4 or 5 fights, and he's every time he hits someone, poof, they disappear.
Right.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, and and that's the thing. In my interview with Sam, I mean, he really recognizes that about you. That you don't have to worry about one thing. You just kind of have to worry about everything. When facing you, and that he even said something like that. He knows how good you are endurance wise, and that you're not a person that is easy to get rid of. That being said, for you. Do you see this going long, or do you believe that because he is kind of a broken toy that you'll be able to just dispatch him a little sooner?
No, I don't know. Like, again, the broken toy was kind of like more like not a disparaging mark in any regards, right? He's a great fighter, and he underlining the two things that he has with that my other opponent has, again, grit, and also the fact that they are putting food on the table of their kids.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing, and that's something I don't have. That hunger that I don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
I do this because I love it.
Yeah.
I could be doing many other things, to be completely honest, but this is my passion. So that's something I always have to take into regret. And he has a wealth of knowledge. He has excellent timing, He has heavy hands, and he loves what he's doing there. He's smiling for a reason.
I know he really is.
Yeah,
he's living the dream.
Exactly. And even in regards to his personality, like I actually love the videos. What's called? It's just funny how, like, again, because he called me out for the hair. Yeah. He's dressing in drag. He's wearing hair. Like, I almost want to put in, the song by Jungle Book. I want to be like you.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's exactly what he, like. I don't know how bad he wants to be me, but either way, what's it called? No, after the fight, whatever the outcome, obviously I'm looking to win, and I'm going to win. Right. What's called? I'll buy him a Canadian beer, and like, again, I think me and him are not like cut from like the same cloth in many regards. Like, he does it for all the same reasons I do. He loves traveling. Yes. He loves just the experience, and he just has a great outlet. Yeah. And it looks like he has an amazing family, and I like. Again, obviously, because we're both competitors, I'm going in there to kick the crap out of him. What's it called? After the fact, there won't be any negative thoughts or feelings.
Right. Well, and on the side, you have really built up, besides for your fighting, for your tweeting, dude, you got the gift.
I don't know. I have too much time on my hands.
That's what I wonder. I'm like, I'm on there a lot too. I admit it, but I'm like, damn, Spartan is killing it again today. You're on there a lot. I mean, that really does seem to be, anyway, what I perceive it to be is like this great outlet for you and this great release. And it seems to just be a really fun way for you to interact and just kind of kick back. It seems like you entertain yourself there.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sometimes a little shit-eater grin on my face. I said that. Yeah. Like, I have to withdraw all the poop and fart jokes that I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Keeping it classy. No, it's just fun. It's kind of become this thing of its own, and like the amount of just imprints. Like, I get like 5-6 million like imprints on a monthly basis. It's just growing to this huge thing. And it's cool that it's just this organic thing, and it's a way for just friends, fans, and everyone in between, and obviously the haters. Yeah. What's it called? To get a little interaction with me.
Who hates you?
I know. That's what my mom tells me every day. Like, why would you hate me? No,
You're good enough? You're smart enough?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm neat. Remember my mom tells me that that's what Sam said. I'm neat. Well, my mom says I'm neat every day.
You're neat. Yeah, you're neat. Well, I do wonder, though. I feel like there was one time somebody had asked you about it or something we were talking about, you parlaying that into like a Fight Pass show or doing something more, on the commentary side or on the, is there anything, coming of that?
Well, maybe not necessarily that. What's it called? But I got a couple of cool projects that are in the works that are going to be really cool.
Good deal. Yeah. And before we go, I have to ask you, I spoke with him the other day, Patrick Cote. We know that you have a lot of your, there's a few Tough Nations alums on there. Big fight for him against Cowboy Cerrone. So I'm just curious your thoughts on that matchup.
I'm so excited. And part of the benefits of being on the Fight Pass and the Fight Pass, what's it called, main event or whatever you want to call it, is I'll be live tweeting everything, like the actual fights afterwards.
Great.
But I'm so excited for Patrick Cote. Like, again, look at the renaissance that he's had in regards to his career. He's knocking on the door of getting his third weight class title defense, like a title contendership. Right. But and again, what he's been able to pull off, and he's in a great place. He has his first little girl on his way. On the way.
It's great.
Yeah, I know. I know. He's in a loving relationship. He has, again, a great team around him, both inside the cage and out, and I couldn't be happier for him. Cool. I think if it's going to be a case of like looking at how the fight's going to go, I think in many ways Patrick's the bigger guy. Yep. He's, like I said, he's had a renaissance in many ways. And the again, if it's going to be a chin check, no one has a better beard than Patrick Cote.
It's pretty damn good.
Glorious. Yeah, and he just, like, it's sometimes so intimidating. Like, well, we spar all the time. Yeah. And what's it called? You hit him and he just goes forward. And I'm like, but that should hurt. And then he just hits you right in the face. I'm like, oh, okay, yes. Doesn't hurt you. Yeah. Only mere mortals.
Right. And then, I mean, it's a hell of a matchup in the main event as well. I'm just, I that's one that you can sort of argue either way. As the Canadian, I don't know if you're predisposed to having to say it.
Biased as hell. No, I've had the chance, honestly, to train with both of them. Yeah. I think they're both amazing studs in their own right, and it's one of those things where they're both at the top of their game. Obviously, Rory's coming off of a hell of a fight where he was winning until, again, just his body gave out. What it is. Where Wonder Boy has been able to, since his loss to Matt Brown, has reinvented himself. When I was actually at Longo's and Mancera's, he was training with
Chris.
Weidman
He plays Anderson for Chris,
yes,
right?
Exactly. And now Chris, up until obviously his injury, Chris was playing his training partner. Exactly. So that's a hell of a training partner.
Yeah.
But with that, I think Rory's really good, again, in many ways of neutralizing people at what they're best at. Right. And he brought in a great training partner amongst many, Raymond Daniels, who is just as great of a point karate style fighter. If anything, crazier. The things that Raymond Daniels does in the gym, like you watch and you're just like, what?
You're just there with your popcorn watching him work. Yeah.
No, but training, it's even crazier. Like I did a couple of rounds with him. Like, he just hit me 7 times. But he just hit me 7 times. He was over there, now he's here, now I'm there. Like, it's a very intimidating thing. But no, again, I think with Rory, I think one of his keys to success will be in many ways like he did with Woodley. Even though completely different fighters, just neutralizing.
Neutralize, yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun night. I'm going to be in the studio at Fox. Looking forward to that one. We always make sure we get our fight pass at our desks and our monitors and stuff like that. So sometimes we're doing some stuff, but we always make sure we have eyes on it. So we're looking forward to watching you and Sam throw down. And as you said, you guys are the featured prelim there on Fight Pass. So people should, if they don't already have the subscription, it's like, you got to see this fight.
Yes, you have to. It's a must. It's a must.
It's going to be great. You going to be coming to LA anytime after that? I know you've been around a little bit here and there.
Yeah. I'll be bouncing around, but if I will definitely hit you up when I do.
Nice. Awesome, Elias. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, and best of luck to you. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.